SuperTalk Mississippi Media production.
Runners, are you ready? The 15th annual Viking Half Marathon 10K and 5K will take to the streets on March 28th in Greenwood. Registered now at VikingHalfMarathon.com. Paid for by the Greenwood Convention and Visitors Bureau and the Greenwood Chamber of Commerce.
I'm Steve Azar, and I'm on the other side of the microphone, meaning I'm asking the questions this time, and oh, have mercy for the airwaves. I spent 20 years in Music City, wrote and made some hits, traveled the world, and then moved my family back to the birthplace of American music and where the magnolia trees prosper. And now every time I put my feet on Mississippi soil, when I'm off the road, well, I'm at peace. On this show, it's all about hearing the stories straight from the mouths of the friends I've made along the way, their journey to success. Heck, there might be someone on, I don't even know, but you know how us Mississippi types are. We tend to take well to new company. In a Mississippi Minute, all 60 of them. I'm Steve Azar. It's just like that muddy river, moving slow. Ain't no worries, it's how life goes, baby. In a Mississippi Minute. That's right. Folks, time for another Mississippi Minute. Hey, I'm Steve Azar. Go to visitmississippi.org and just follow it. You're going to end up in Liverpool, but, you know, that's not maybe the place you find the love of your life. The Beatles invasion. That's what we left them there. Amazing. Go to visitmississippi.org. We're going to talk about gratefulness and gratitude today with today's guest especially. My pal who's been on here many, many times. We've been making our way through this thing, and it's been a lot of fun. Today's guest, drawing on nearly 40 years of business experience and wisdom, the rule of Benedict. He incorporates the principles of strategic mindset, stability, community excellence, and profound hospitality. Mississippi knows all about that into actionable tools for success. Who would think? As the author of acclaimed books such as Sell Like a Monk, The Sweet Spot Where Business Strategy, Positive Psychology, and Faith Principles Converge, and Ultimate Breakthrough Planning, and his upcoming book, More Thriving, Less Grumbling. His work empowers purpose-driven entrepreneurs, visionary leaders, and mission-based focused organizations to achieve strategic growth and long-term success. And I can go on, but I'm getting to it right now. Probably he's been on my show probably 14 times now. He is setting the record, Mike, the Monk Guy Farrell. Hello, Mike.
Hey, Steve, how are you? Has it been 14, huh?
I mean, I could be, my math gets a little sideways. I'm nothing like my doctor son who can add anything. But, recently I was actually, when I was playing in my ABA basketball professional debut, the coach of the team.
You're still upright?
Oh, my God, I'm still upright. The owner of the team, Scott, he was named by Regis Philbin as the human calculator. You can give him two crazy numbers out of your head and just go, he gets the calculator and he goes, okay, so it's 478 plus, 1,037. Just now you keep hitting equals because it'll keep, going and adding it. And he's ahead of the calculator. And there's at no point is he wrong. And at no point is he not ahead of the calculator because people can't hit equals fast enough. The craziest thing I've ever seen, but he said he was always built like that. I'm bringing that up because I am standing upright after playing ABA basketball for a little bit. The only problem was I call it rehearsal now after being in the music business.
Yeah, right.
And shot my elbow out of sync, and I shouldn't have taken 123 pointers. Yeah, too much. But I was shooting pretty good with nobody on me.
Yeah, you look really good.
So, Mike, let's talk about into the holiday season.
Yeah.
Past Thanksgiving. One of your newsletters was all about gratitude and gratefulness. And you and I have talked about this a whole lot in person and obviously on our show before, but maybe I want to dig a little deeper. Here's what you sent. Most people assume gratitude is a feeling. It's not. It's a discipline of attention. This week and Thanksgiving, let's back up, but we can consider Christmas as well, reminds us that goodness is also present, but we often barrel past it because we're too busy, pressured, or chasing the next thing. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that when we talk about gratitude, we typically talk about it from a receiving standpoint. And I think it's really important that leaders really think about it from a giving standpoint, in that being present, being there for somebody, making sure that it's an intentional act that they're doing. It's not just something that, gee, thanks for, this flyby, passing by, gee, thanks this, thanks that, whatever the case may be. And I think too many times we're so, and especially during the holidays now, we're all caught up in all the stuff that's going on, whether it's gifts or family or events or parties or whatever the case may be. We're all caught up in that. And I think, and you and I have talked about this many times before, I think we need to pause and slow down and understand that giving isn't about necessarily giving a gift, but it's about being present to someone and being grateful for their presence with you. And I think that's a very important distinction, because when we do that, we really begin to understand that gratitude is this thing that kind of is all around us. And it's not just one thing we do or one thing we're thankful for. It's the way that we live our lives. And when we live our lives in gratitude, we're healthier. We're, more joyous. All of those things that happen. And positive psychology has bore this out for many years, and that this idea of gratitude is really one of presence.
How do you quieten yourself, quieten the mind enough to slow it down enough to really appreciate what's in front of you and what's around you?
Yeah, I think it's a matter of really stopping, and saying, okay, now for the next couple of minutes, I'm just going to be aware, rather than and I love the quote, and I don't even remember where I got this, but it's the idea of becoming a human being versus a human doing. Let's stop and be a human being, and stop worrying about being a human doing and constantly being in motion.
Gratitude becomes an afterthought, you say, but when we intentionally pause, even for 30 seconds, to name what is good, what is growing, and who deserves appreciation, something shifts. Our minds quiet, our stress lowers, and our sense of purpose sharpens. You and I have talked about this thing about your sense of purpose. Everybody has one. And whether it's personally or whether it's in your business, the most important thing you can do is define your purpose. How can people find that core value in them and the thing that makes them tick and actually gravitate everything around its orbit? Everything orbits around that purpose, correct?
Yep. Yeah, I think when it comes to that idea of purpose, I call it a higher purpose vision. What is it that brings you joy? What is it that you're passionate about? What is it that really makes you get up in the morning and drives you to something? And I think the idea behind a higher purpose vision too, is the simple fact that we think about it from a standpoint of not ourselves, but of others. I think when too many times we ask, why are you doing this? And well, it's to make more money, or it's to do this, or it's to do that. And it's all about me. But when we shift that, when that purpose becomes about somebody else, whether it's our families, whether it's a cause, whether it's a community, whatever the case may be, when that shifts, then we begin to really operate in this higher level of purpose, where it's about something besides ourselves.
What leader is going to argue with you? You make me believe everything you say. I mean, you know what I mean? Like,
they argue all the time with me.
I can only imagine. Shame on them. Let's take a quick break. Mike, the Monk Guy Farrell. You can follow him at Mike.
TheMonkGuy.com.
TheMonkGuy.com. Visit Mississippi.org. We can't thank him enough for 8 years with me. It's just, I feel like they're such a partner in everything that I've done since I've moved back home. I believe in what they're doing, and I appreciate all that they do for our state and making it just the place that you want to come see. And sometimes maybe you'll stay. We'll be right back. I'm Steve Azar.
Shoulder to shoulder, 1/2 a mile line, I'm crowded. 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 1/2 a
This is Fox on Justice. The U.S. homicide rate plummeted in 2025 to the lowest ever recorded. And 9 offenses, including assault, robbery, burglary, and carjacking, gun crimes, all down by double digits. Why? Well, some experts cite obesity and an aging population. But guess who didn't get any credit from the media or big city mayors? The Trump crackdown on criminal aliens deported off the streets and out of jail. Here's Adam Gelb from the Nonpartisan Council on Criminal Justice, which authored the report.
If you are removing the high rate, dangerous, violent repeat offenders from the streets, then you certainly can have a significant reduction in crime.
That's because 62% of prison inmates are rearrested within 3 years. If they're deported, those crimes don't happen. Also, the U.S. added 3 million new legal gun owners last year, 20 million over 5. So contrary to the argument that more guns mean more crime, here, violent crime and homicide all went down. William Lajeunesse, Fox News.
Listen and watch all your favorite SuperTalk Mississippi shows live and on demand. Listen to tons of music. Plus, get the latest breaking news from across the state with the SuperTalk Mississippi app. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Download the SuperTalk app on your iPhone or Android device now for free. Just search SuperTalk Mississippi in your app store on your mobile device to get everything Mississippi all in one place. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Get it now.
Family Termite is
Mississippi.
Your dark hair draped across my pillow. Since I finally
Steve
got
Azar here. I
back.
think I asked a question with my name when I went out of the break. I'm Steve Azar. Was I questioning myself?
And as I
I know one
watch
thing
you
I'm not going to
dream
question.
and twist
Visit
it,
Mississippi.org. Celebrating Mississippi. Visit Mississippi.org. Celebrate your Mississippi. Believe in it. Mike the Monk Guy Farrell is my guest today. He's been sending out his weekly newsletters, and I'm on his newsletter list on every hump day on Wednesdays. Wanting to really dig into a little further since I just read it and now I can get it straight from the horse's mouth. Thanksgiving or Christmas, and Christmas isn't just about being grateful, it's about becoming a source of gratitude for someone else. In the Benedictine tradition, gratitude and generosity are inseparable. We don't just keep blessings, we pass them around. Mike?
Yeah, I mean, the Benedictines really talk about this idea of understanding that gratitude is all about generosity. It's about what we give, not what we take. And what we give, and certainly what we're thankful for, are those people in our lives, and what we get to do for those people in our lives, or for those things that we believe in. So this idea of generosity, and sometimes, Steve, this idea of generosity is just something very simple in being present for somebody. Sometimes it can be so easy to just blow by somebody. They make a comment and you just sort of, maybe you're at work and you got 19 other things on your mind, and they make a comment, and rather than you stopping and actually listening to them, you've heard me say a million times, listen with the ear of your heart is what Benedict says. Rather than doing that, we just kind of brush them off and move right on to whatever it is we're doing. But the Benedictines would say that that's a time that we should stop, and that we should be generous with our presence and allow them to express whatever it is, and then be grateful that they will do it. Be grateful that they'll share that with us, and that we were there and able to be present for them.
I'm very guilty of, how you doing? How's it going? Hope all is one, and wait, I don't wait for the answer, nor sometimes do I hear the answer. And I really have tried to listen to them tell me, but it's such a thing just to say out of just being nice and kind. But sometimes people actually, the curveball would be for somebody to start spilling their guts about how things are not good. And then Are you even ready for that when you ask the question? So is it anything wrong with just asking that without expecting an answer, or, just sort of in passing?
Well, I mean, you talk about just being nice. You're just trying to be nice. The thing about it is, being nice versus being authentic are two different things. And, if you're going to be present for somebody and be authentic, then you have to be prepared that maybe they are going to spill their guts. And, maybe that's the generosity that you exude in allowing them to do that, as painful as that can be sometimes.
Be careful. Be careful what you ask. Is that what you're saying?
That's exactly right. You and I have been there. So, but I think that's the idea of generosity, and especially we're coming up on Christmas. We're going to get all kinds of opportunities, hopefully, to be around family, to be around friends. And are we going to do it and be present, or are we going to just go through the motions? I think that's the big difference.
We don't just keep blessings, we pass them forward. These are from your words through me.
Yeah.
For leaders, generosity is less about money and more about giving attention. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, again, this is just spending time with people, being present with somebody. This is really about this idea of, how many. I just had a conversation with a client the other day, and he's talking about trying to connect with his people. And I said, sometimes you just need to wander around and ask them how they're doing, and ask them what's going on in their life. Not necessarily what's going on, how are they doing with their job? How are they doing with their life? How are things, what's happening? Being present, finding out about them, finding out about their families, their hobbies, the things that they're challenged with. I mean, those are the things. Asking deeper questions, I think, is really that idea of generosity and
yeah, giving, and I didn't mean to wave you off there. You probably thought we were going into a break. We're not. Giving encouragement. I love this. I love this, and I understand this. Go ahead and talk a little bit on that.
Well, I think that a lot of times, especially in the work world, we give encouragement, but we give encouragement for something that they've done on the job. One of the things that I talk to leaders about all the time is, when's the last time you encouraged somebody to do something that had absolutely nothing to do with the job? When's the last time you encouraged them to participate in an activity, to do something with their family, to whatever it is, that encouragement, getting beyond just what's happening day to day in your work and moving beyond that and looking at it from a bigger perspective.
I encouraged my percussion player sidekick, Jason, who Jason Young, once. We were gone on probably a pretty long stint, maybe almost a month out. And I said, you need to go and romance your bride. It's been a while. So, as the leader of the band, I'm sitting here giving him advice. He goes, okay, so what do you think I should do? I said, well, I think you ought to go get a bottle of wine. You need to call her, maybe cook a little dinner for her, this and that. And he goes, all right, I'm going to try it. See him a week later. We're back on the bus, and he goes, I need to talk to you. And I said, okay. I go, how'd it go? He goes, well, I did what you said. I called her and I said, hey, I'm home. I'm getting off the bus and looking forward to being home. And I thought maybe I'd pick up some food. And all she said was, okay, if that's what you want to do. He goes, how about some Chinese? Yeah, that's good. Whatever you're thinking. She was preoccupied, by the way, and I'm going to tell you why. And then 4 weeks wasn't enough, so anyway. And then he said, I was thinking maybe I'd stop by and get a bottle of wine. And this, he goes, oh, okay, that's fine. And he goes, maybe I'd stop and grab a movie. That was back in the days when you can grab a movie, and at the wherever the movie store was, video store. And she got quiet and she says, are you kidding me? The game is on. And so he was like, he had no shot because she's going to watch whatever game it is. And he said, the funny thing is, it doesn't matter what game it is. She's all in. And it's whatever sport, wasn't as romantic as it was supposed to, It's what I made it out to be. No longer was I the guy, what do you call it? I sure couldn't do The Bachelor or whatever, be a host on that show. I failed miserably. Mike, we're going to go into a break, but I want to talk about giving dignity when we get back. When you sent the newsletter and I saw the whole body of work, that to me was like a big bright light. And I was going like, that's interesting. We'll talk about it on the other side of the break. Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. I hope you guys know how much I've enjoyed doing this show, and obviously having Mike the Monk Guy Farrell as a guest on so many times, because I get a lot of compliments and a lot of nice notes and text messages from folks. I appreciate that, how much they really enjoy him being on, and I appreciate him taking the time out of his busy schedule Visit Mississippi.org. There's gold on the other side of that. You know what that is? The birthplace of America's music. Not only gold, it's platinum. Platinum records, you wouldn't believe, that inspired the entire world. Be proud of your Mississippi. I'm Steve Azar. We'll be right back.
Everybody needs a little sunshine. Yeah, you're my sunshine. 'Cause like the dawn, you push it all the way.
Up to $20,000 available for first-time home buyers. Hey folks, Steve Azar here. Helping is the heart of our friends at Guarantee Bank. They offer programs like the Home Buyer Equity Leverage Partnership Grant that can assist qualified first-time home buyers with up to $20,000 towards down payment and provide home ownership counseling to empower you on your journey. These funds are first come, first served. Learn more about this program and to apply now, go to gbtonline.com. Guarantee Bank, member FDIC.
Take a pause.
You've probably seen former service members getting help from service dogs. They're working to overcome PTSD and depression as vets get back into civilian life. Even retired Air Force Brigadier General Scott Wiggins admits he was struggling when he first hung up the uniform.
I was kind of reclusive, that I would want to stay inside. I didn't want to get out in public. And through the advice of my wife, got some counseling. And then after talking to a counselor, figured a service dog could be another tool in my tool belt just to help me transition.
He was connected with a yellow Labrador Retriever, Bear, through the nonprofit Patriot Service Dogs.
They asked me kind of what my needs were, and based on my needs and Bear's training, they felt like we would be a good match. So Bear was in training for a couple of years. They put me through my paces as well, and then we were paired up.
The Brigadier General says Bear has turned him around.
I can't tell you how much it has restored my life to me, and I would love nothing more than the next veteran to have that opportunity.
Take a pause. Jill Nato, Fox News.
Listen and watch all your favorite SuperTalk Mississippi shows live and on demand. Listen to tons of music. Plus, get the latest breaking news from across the state with the SuperTalk Mississippi app. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Download the SuperTalk app on your iPhone or Android device now for free. Just search SuperTalk Mississippi in your app store on your mobile device to get everything Mississippi all in one place. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Get it now.
From the Seabrook.com.
In a Mississippi Minute with Steve Azar, right here on SuperTalk Mississippi.
There ain't no street in this town where the memories don't lay thick on the ground.
Giving dignity. This is words from Mike the Monk Guy Farrell, my guest. Visit Mississippi.org. Please check it out. And follow the country music trail markers, and you're going to end up at some point in Greenville, Mississippi, in front of Jim's Cafe, where I'm so grateful to have my own trail marker, and that has meant so much to me, and it's always humbling, I can tell you, to be a part of the trail. Mike, let's talk about giving dignity. That threw me for a little bit of a curveball, and like I said, it jumped off the page when I saw it.
Yeah. Well, in the context of generosity, I think that giving dignity is something that we sort of miss a lot. You know, there's all kinds of opportunities to give, whether it's, Christmas gifts for kids that need it, or whether it's food for folks that don't have it. Those kind of opportunities typically are fairly easy to find and fairly easy to participate in. But I think the one thing that we miss is this idea that what can we do for those folks that maybe are less fortunate than we are, that goes beyond this idea of just giving something versus making them feel like they have dignity. What can we do that makes them feel like they really, as much as they're struggling, as difficult as it is, sometimes just having a conversation with somebody and encouraging them and having their back, whatever that may look like, that gives them dignity, and in the work world, I mean, we've got different tiers of folks in businesses and organizations, from the CEO all the way down to the janitor. Well, what's the CEO doing to make the janitor feel like his role and his job is dignified, and that it's just as important as this idea of what the CEO does. And I think in the work world, a lot of times that's connecting it to that higher purpose vision. It's really connecting. I love the story about John Kennedy when he was the president, and he was going through NASA, and he walked out into the hallway at NASA and ran across a janitor there. And he asked the janitor, what's your job? And the janitor looked right at him and he said, my job is to help put a man on the moon. It had absolutely nothing to do with mopping floors or emptying garbage or any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
He felt like he was a real important cog in the wheel to help put a man on the moon.
Well, who made him feel that way? The person in charge, right?
NASA, absolutely. Yeah. They built that whole idea. That whole purpose was, everything we do here, down to emptying the garbage, is meant to put a man on the moon. And they got people to buy into that and to believe it. And that's what made them successful. And Kennedy was really taken aback when he said that, But again, that's making sure that people, when they take their job that seriously, you're giving them dignity. You're not just showing up as you're, sweeping the streets or emptying the garbage or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
You have importance.
This to me is the sweetest thing that I've seen on paper. So now that you've explained it, it's so beautiful. I mean, that to me is true compassion. And also it's being humble when you've conquered it all, or you're on top of the world.
Absolutely.
But yet understanding the person, that's cleaning the floors that you're walking on, and you're messing up, and you're constantly messing up. My dear friend Al Wisney, his dad founded Pico, which was a tooling company. They made the machines that made the cars in Detroit. And he would go on to have a huge, success. And then the three brothers, and Al was one of them, and his sister ended up taking over the company, and they took this company into the stratosphere, right? And when they sold and everything, the yachts and all that came with it. We'd be at an airport together, and we'd be looking for him, and he'd be over there talking to the janitor. And I go, Al, we got our cars are waiting. And he goes, I'm talking right now. Let me do this. And he was so engaged. And he told me, he said, you know what? My dad spent more time with people cleaning up and the people so far down the trough, because he said that those are the people that you can never forget. And you have to lift them up because they're part of this team. And Al always felt like the best conversation was with those folks. And I was going, as a songwriter, I totally get that. There's people who are so grounded down to earth, and they're salt of the earth. And sometimes they're walking songs. I mean, like just the way they talk. They haven't eliminated themselves from being able to express themselves and being vulnerable. Because the work that they're doing is very vulnerable, right? And if you look at that. So I always felt like that was a beautiful thing, and it made me realize what kind of man he was. And I loved him even more when he told me that, and I thought that was just really wonderful. And he meant it. Yeah.
Well, and this idea of human dignity, it goes back to the, Catholic social teaching, and the whole idea of we're made in the image and likeness of God. Imago Dei. And what that means is that we're all made in the image and likeness of God. Doesn't matter whether you're the janitor or the CEO, we're all made in the image and likeness of God. And I think that idea of giving dignity is really going down to that level, whatever level that is, and making those people feel like they have just as much dignity as you have. And they are just as important as you are. It doesn't matter how much money you make, doesn't matter how successful you are. Those people really have as much dignity as you have, and we need to build them up,
you're going in and you're consulting a big company and you're dealing with a powerful leader of the company that's got an ego. Okay. All right. I know that at this point you can probably, like I can sort of read a crowd. You can probably read the room immediately with what you're dealing with as far as a leader and stuff. How do you teach a leader that has never given dignity to somebody that far down, or anybody that gives dignity to nobody, makes that effort to nobody in the company? How can you convince them that this is important, and how do they go from not it being in their sort of DNA? You know what I mean? Wasn't nothing they were nurtured with growing up. How can they change? Or can they?
I think sometimes they can't. I mean, sometimes that's just their ego that's going to get in the way, and no matter what you tell them, no matter what you try and convince them to do, you're not going to break that. Now, there are many other leaders who I've had the privilege to work with who understand that in order to be a better leader, they need to change. They need to do things differently. And, one of the great tools that I love to use with leaders, and anybody out there that's listening to this, if you want to think about one way to really think about how you communicate with people, go back and look at your emails for the last 2 days and look at how many of them were negative, how many of them were positive, and how many of them were neutral. And I can guarantee you that for most of us, when we go back and look at those, 60 to 70% of our emails are going to have some sort of negative connotation. And only a very small percentage are going to be positive. And so if you think about flipping that, if we can create a 4 or 5 to 1 ratio of positive versus negative, that begins to break down that ego, that begins to break down that thought process, because what you have to do is consciously think about, okay, how do I say something good, something kind, something important to somebody without beating them over the head with something that's negative.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive there. Visit Mississippi.org. Let's take a quick break. Mike the Monk Guy Farrell is my guest today. We'll be right back on this TV.
I'll find me.
Up to $20,000 available for first-time home buyers. Hey folks, Steve Azar here. Helping is the heart of our friends at Guarantee Bank. They offer programs like the Home Buyer Equity Leverage Partnership Grant that can assist qualified first-time home buyers with up to $20,000 towards down payment and provide home ownership counseling to empower you on your journey. These funds are first come, first served. Learn more about this program and to apply now, go to gbtonline.com. Guarantee Bank, member FDIC.
Securing America.
During the recent Munich Security Conference, United States United Nations Ambassador Mike Waltz spoke about the Trump administration's goal for the international body.
We are pushing hard for the UN to go back to basics, to that peacemaking and peacekeeping function that was core to its founding.
Ambassador Waltz also said of the UN,
it's trying to do too much for everyone and be everything to every nation.
The ambassador claimed the Trump administration wants to strengthen the UN the same way it feels it's helped NATO. But he did get some pushback from the European Union's foreign policy chief, Kaja Kallas.
When America goes to wars, then, a lot of us go with you.
Kallas reminded Waltz,
you are better off when you work with others.
She noted that even superpowers can't do everything by themselves. Kevin Uretsky, Fox News.
We've sent that ribbon.
Next to nothing at a bar nowhere, she says, damn the money.
In a Mississippi Minute with Steve Azar, right here on SuperTalk Mississippi.
Tips, buys a shot of booze, grabs a lucky strike, lights another fuse, and says, damn the money. Oh, damn the money. Well, he dreams about someplace warm and sunny.
Got a short segment left. Mike the Monk Guy Farrell is my guest. Go to themonkguy.com. Follow him for his Wednesday newsletters. It's awesome. Visit Mississippi.org is very awesome as well. Spend some time in places in Mississippi you hadn't been to in a while. Plan those little weekend getaways, and you won't regret it. It's a beautiful place. You can go check out the King of Rock and Roll in Tupelo. Let's just talk about that. Make your way to the King of the Blues with my man B.B. King over here in Indianola, and then head on up to to Meridian, where Jimmy Rogers, the father of country, he is the father of country. So we've got it all here in Mississippi. It's a beautiful thing. So check it out. Visit Mississippi.org. Mike, let's keep staying on gratitude. I think we can make the whole show on that, and I would like to stay there. One of the things that you talk about is giving your team clarity and direction. Let's use that also in the home world, like not just with work, because I know that there's really not even a fine line between you feel like that your lifestyle should match what's going on in work, right?
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think, and especially during the holidays. So let's just take it from a family perspective.
All right.
Understanding the reason for the season, understanding why this season exists in the first place, and really understanding, and I don't care how religious you are, a lot or a little or none, but understanding that this season is all about caring for each other, for blessing each other with your presence, for being there for each other. It's not about who gets the greatest gift. It's not about all of the activities that have to go on. It's not all about the food that's got to be cooked and served and eaten. Really thinking about it from a standpoint of what are the blessings that we have that has nothing to do with material stuff, but that has everything to do with who we are, our families, the people around us, our friends, all of those kinds of things. Those are the reasons why we should be grateful during this holiday season. And that certainly goes the same at work. In that, are we grateful for those people? Are we grateful to have the work? Are we grateful to really understand that we're very special in what we get to do? And hopefully the leaders of that organization understand that. Hopefully parents understand that. Hopefully parents are able to look at it and say, okay, let's not worry about the gifts. Let's not worry about all the food. Let's not worry about all the parties and events. Let's just focus on having Christmas for each other. Let's just focus on being there for each other and enjoying the presents. The other stuff can be there as well, but let's focus on enjoying each other.
While you're talking about gift giving, you say another fruit basket, yippee. As we head into the holiday season, I'm watching businesses prepare their year-end gifts. Most will be default to the same impersonal playbook, branded mugs, generic gift baskets, logo-covered items, et cetera, et cetera. I like where you go here. Profound hospitality isn't about the price tag or the presentation. It's about the evidence that you've been paying attention. It's the book you remembered, someone mentioned in passing, the local coffee roast from your hometown, the handwritten note that represents a specific conversation you had 6 months ago. These moments reveal something deeper than generosity. They reveal presence. That is awesome.
Absolutely. And I mean, you and I have both got lots of them, anything with, logos on them and all that kind of stuff. And I think that I'm going to use my wife, Ann, as an example, because every time she either sells a house or has a buyer buy a house, she creates a gift bag for them. And the gift bag is very, very specific to them. There's never one the same. And it's based on their likes, their interests, what they need, what they're looking for, their family, all of those kinds of things. She creates that gift bag for them. And it really, it's something. I mean, I've seen some of those gifts bring people to tears when they look at it. And that's the idea of giving when we're really focused on what impact we want to make with that gift, not just, here's something with a logo on it.
I would like a gift from Ann, a gift basket. It sounds like she would be good. Gwen, where's Gwen at? I'm going to talk to Gwen about that. Visit Mississippi.org. Thank you, guys. Very grateful for you guys. And, of course, my team at SuperTalk. All you guys have been so wonderful to not only me, our foundation, and I appreciate y'all so much. Have a wonderful weekend. Blessings. I'm Steve Azar.
I'm Steve Azar. In a Mississippi Minute, all 60 of them, where you can take your sweet time.
Listen and watch all your favorite SuperTalk Mississippi shows live and on demand. Listen to tons of music. Plus, get the latest breaking news from across the state with the SuperTalk Mississippi app. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Download the SuperTalk app on your iPhone or Android device now for free. Just search SuperTalk Mississippi in your app store on your mobile device to get everything Mississippi all in one place. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Get it now. A SuperTalk Mississippi Media production.